let's start with the simple. UNC is the best team in the ACC. North Carolina is the best team in the ACC. I think they've proven it throughout the regular season, and I think in their first game in the ACC tournament, they looked like it. So there's no reason to hedge your bets on this one. There are still questions, though. The questions are, will the best team in the ACC be upset? And will they do enough to be a number one seed in the NCAA tournament? Which I need to actually go look it up. How did that Tennessee game? Yep, Tennessee ended up losing. So North Carolina has a real chance here. They might just be one win away from being a number one seed in the NCAA tournament.
They beat Tennessee earlier this year, too, which you would hope that would play a factor. Again, these are humans.
I was gonna, maybe. They were far and away the better team against Florida State. I'm going to spotlight an individual, though. What I liked best was the play of Elliot Cadeau.
Yeah.
I have to admit, before the game, and we talked about it here on the show yesterday morning during our The Fan Tournament Tailgate edition of the show, that Elliot Cadeau would be the one with the target on his back, right? Because if you look at that starting lineup, Cormac Ryan is 25. Elliot Cadeau, Armando Bacot feels like he's 30. RJ Davis is the ACC Player of the Year. Harrison Ingram is another upperclassman, former five-star recruit that's been around in college basketball for a long time. And then there's a freshman making his first ACC tournament appearance.
Again, a freshman who's supposed to be in high school.
Did the whole reclassification thing. So Elliot Cadeau, if I were Florida State, he had a jersey number, but it was really a target. It was really a bullseye. I would have been attacking him when I have the ball, and I would have been trying to make him make decisions on defense. Because you have to test it, right? It was about 4 or 5 minutes into the game when it was, all right, stop testing him. He had 3 steals quick. He was the first one on the ground to loose balls quick. He was the energy, which may have been a product of not having been there before, right? His heartbeat was like a skier before the Olympics, right? That might have been a product of him being the freshman. He had this kind of hyped up, pent up energy, but it worked, right? It got his team going. He made the necessary plays. He made the defensive plays, got his hands on the ball, made life difficult for Florida State, and about 4 or 5 minutes in, if I'm Florida State, I'm going, all right, we got to find someone else to attack. He passed the test. We had to test him. He passed the test. That right there is a huge feather in the cap of the preparation that he and his coaches and his teammates did for postseason basketball. Because it's not easy, and it's not something normal. Everyone's not built for postseason college basketball in a conference like the ACC from the moment they get on. Some, they're juniors and they're still not cracked up for it. He is a freshman and obviously was right there for it.
And just the way he was diving for loose balls and the way he was attacking on defense, there was a point in the first half because we sat behind the Carolina bench during that game. They actually had to stop the game because his knee was scraped up because he was diving for loose balls and stuff on the floor.
He tore his tights.
Yeah, he tore his spandex, all that kind of stuff. But they had to wrap it up because of blood, all those kinds of things. But he was the tone setter in the game. Like you mentioned, all those upperclassmen, it was the young guy who was the tone setter. And that was just on the defensive end, but him on offense as well. Like his ability to get to the rim is just phenomenal.
It was the thing about UNC that if they get for the rest of the ACC tournament into the NCAA tournament, I think they become a favorite to win it all, is the contributions from the quote unquote others. And that's not a derogatory term. But when you have Armando Bacot, who's the all-time leading rebounder in your school's history, and you're not like, a new school. You're a school with some history, and he's the all-time leading rebounder. And RJ Davis, who's the ACC Player of the Year, they're going to do what they do. RJ Davis had his 18. Armando Bacot had his double-double. Harrison Ingram had a near double-double. He actually had the hard part. He got the rebounds, didn't get the points. But you look at the others, right? If you look at if you call those the big three, which they have been all year, the others, Cormac Ryan has been shooting the lights out over the last month, which is why he was brought in. But that has given them a new dimension. It's given them a way to make teams pay when they pack it in the paint. And he's a crowd favorite. I didn't understand how much the UNC faithful really like Cormac Ryan.
Hey, when you show out like you did at Cameron Indoor Stadium,
was that new love? I
think it's like, hey, you know what?
They're still in the honeymoon phase.
It's always like they're Brady Manick from a couple of years ago.
True.
Came in, it's like Brady Manick tore it up at Cameron Indoor Stadium, and now he's doing Cormac Ryan's kind of doing that same thing.
It was every time he checked out of the game, he got a nice little applause and
a huge pop.
Everybody was a Cormac Ryan fan. But then you throw in Elliot Cadeau and how well he played and how he impacted the game in both the obvious and non-obvious ways. A couple of very crafty finishes at the bucket, and then Seth Trimble. Seth Trimble, feeling the moment, had the highlight of, I'd probably say the best highlight of like any individual play since we've been here in Washington, getting here on Wednesday. Seth Trimble with a 2-foot launch, cocked it back, dunk to really put the UNC crowd into a frenzy. If the others start adding up, or who was it? Was it Jalen Withers who missed a dunk and then rotated around and hit a 3?
No, that was actually Mo Diarra. I know did that.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Mo Diarra got my utility bigs a little mixed up. But Jalen Withers made some plays. I'm just throwing him out there.
He did miss a dunk. No, I think he missed a dunk, and then I think the ball got to Cormac Ryan, I think, for a 3. I think that's what it was.
There you go. Well, either way.
You saw a lot of basketball.
More to come. Seth Trimble, Elliot Cadeau, Cormac Ryan, Withers. If those players play how they played yesterday and how they've been playing as of late, that's the thing that can take UNC from hey, hopefully they're a number 1 seed. Hey, they're a favorite to win the ACC title. To they might be a team that can legitimately cut down nets and do some things that will leave legacies.
Everyone understands their role, which is the biggest thing. Everyone understands their role. That's the best part.
And on top of that, I would say the guys who have the kind of guaranteed big time roles have also been okay taking, like, they don't need to be the star every minute, right? RJ Davis scoring 18 points. I was joking that he was going to get his 20 no matter what. It was a calm 18. Armando Bacot has proven times and times and times again this year that he's cool with 10 and 10. He doesn't need to go get 23 and 13, even though we know he has that in his bag of tricks. If Harrison Ingram wants to be the dude, if Cormac Ryan wants to score 30, like, they're all comfortable feeding him, which is probably more veteran, right? A lot of that might have to do with the fact that these guys are in their mid-20s rather than their teens. But I was impressed with UNC. I was impressed with their workmanlike. They spent the first 4 or 5 minutes where it was a little bit of like, hey, we haven't played in a while. Florida State's in rhythm. Once UNC got used to the gym, got used to the breakdown, it was all over but the crying.
Took them about 7 minutes.
7 minutes to be full steam ahead.
Exactly. And then they steamrolled.
And they steamrolled them.
And the impressive part is we always talk about with Florida State, their length, their size, like how many bigs. They're a bunch of 6'8" to 6'11", long, lanky guys. UNC took it to them on the glass. Like, absolutely took it to them on the glass. Out-rebounded them 48-22. There was actually a point in the game where UNC had more offensive rebounds than Florida State had total rebounds.
And I hate to make this comparison. I hate to make this comparison because certain fans will hate it. That is what Duke was missing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're the more talented team and you're hustling to the 50-50 balls more, if you're the more talented team and you're wrestling away the physicality rebounds, that's how you win by, darn near 30, rather than finding yourself in a game with a team that you beat recently. That's the difference. And also a little bit of depth. Like I said, the guys off the bench were much better for UNC.